Kashmir, a land where heaven meets the Himalayas. But beneath this breathtaking beauty lies a bitter, blood-soaked truth. For over 75 years, Kashmir has been the epicenter of wars, betrayals, and lost generations. And in 2025, it crossed a new threshold with the Pahalgam terror attack shaking the very foundations of peace. What followed was not just retaliation, it was a signal to the world. The roots of Kashmir's conflict dig deep into the Partition of 1947. A Hindu Maharaja, a Muslim-majority population, and as chaos engulfed India and Pakistan, Kashmir stood at a deadly crossroads. When tribal militias backed by Pakistan invaded, Maharaja Hari Singh signed the instrument of accession to India. India sent troops, war broke out. The United Nations intervened. The result? A ceasefire line called the Line of Control, or LOC, splitting Kashmir between India and Pakistan. But the people were never consulted, and peace, it remained a distant dream. 1965, 1971, two more wars, still no resolution. Then came 1989. What began as a political protest spiraled into an armed insurgency, fueled by Pakistan, armed by ideology. Militant groups crossed the LOC, turning Kashmir into a war zone. India responded with a military lockdown. Civilians became collateral. Checkpoints replaced playgrounds. Silence replaced songs. And the people of Kashmir caught between a gun and a grievance. And the next year, in 1990, came another wound, one that still bleeds. As the insurgency intensified, targeted assassinations, threats, and calls for religious cleansing echoed from mosque loudspeakers. Terror spread, and over 100,000 Kashmiri Pandits, a peaceful Hindu minority, were forced to flee the valley overnight. They left behind their homes, their memories, and their ancestral roots. Many still live in refugee camps in Jammu and Delhi, displaced, forgotten, waiting to return. This was more than migration. It was exile from the land they once called home. 1999, Kargil. While India extended a hand of peace, Pakistan sent infiltrators. Disguised as militants, Pakistani soldiers occupied high-altitude Indian posts in Kargil. Indian fight back was named Operation Vijay. They reclaimed every inch of lost ground. But over 500 brave Indian soldiers lost their lives in the world's highest battlefield. Pakistan was shamed diplomatically, but the damage was done. Trust collapsed, and Kashmir's future darkened once again. In 2019, the Indian government arbitrarily revoked Article 370. Jammu and Kashmir lost its special status. It was bifurcated into two union territories. Internet went dark, leaders were jailed, troops flooded the valley. New Delhi said it's a development and integration. Pakistan cried it's a violation of international law. The world urged restraint. China protested, citing Ladakh. And Kashmiris, they just watched as the decisions were made without hearing their voice. There were a series of acts of terror and betrayal from Pakistan that forced India to take this unilateral decision. In 1999, Indian Airlines flight IC-814 was hijacked to Kandahar. India was forced to trade 3 terrorists for innocent lives. One of them, Maulana Masood Azhar, one of the world's most dreaded terrorists, and the founder and future phase of the terror outfit Jaish-e-Mohammed. In 2001, 5 Pakistani gunmen stormed the Indian parliament nearly decapitating democracy. In 2008, 10 Pakistani terrorists went on a shooting rampage, bringing the city of Mumbai to its knees. 166 lives were lost. India's soul was scarred on live television. In January 2016, Pakistani terrorists attacked the Indian Air Force's Pathankot Air Base. And 8 months later, in September 2016, the Uri army camp was attacked. But this time India retaliated with surgical strikes hitting terror bases across the line of control. On the 14th of February 2019, a Pakistani suicide bomber drove into a CRPF convoy in Pulwama, killing 40 Indian paramilitary personnel. Jaish-e-Mohammed, led by Masood Azhar, the man freed following the IC-814 hijacking, claimed responsibility. India struck back. On the 26th of February, Indian Air Force jets crossed into Balakot, deep inside Pakistan, targeting terror camps. This marks the first aerial incursion from India since 1971. Pakistan responded with its own air raid. Dogfights ensued. An Indian pilot was captured and then later returned. The world held its breath. This was not just a retaliation, it was a doctrine shift. India would no longer absorb terror silently, it would answer loudly. And then, on the 22nd of April 2025, 5 armed terrorists entered a tourist port in Baisaran Valley near Pahelgam in Jammu and Kashmir and opened fire at the tourists. This was considered the deadliest attack on civilians in India since the 2008 Mumbai attacks. The militants mainly targeted Hindu tourists, although a Christian tourist and a local Muslim were also killed in the attack. 26 civilians lost their lives. The terrorist outfit Lashkar-e-Taiba was blamed. Pakistani ISI's involvement was confirmed. For India, this was not just terrorism, it was a strategy, an attempt to destabilize, divide, and derail peace. India's response was precise and powerful. Drone and airstrikes destroyed terror camps in Pakistan-administered Kashmir. Troops were moved to Rajouri and Kupwara. But this time, the retaliation extended beyond the battlefield. India suspended the Indus Waters Treaty. A clear message: terror will have a price. Behind the scenes, cyber teams disrupted militant networks, and diplomats rallied support across the globe. The world watched with bated breath. The United States, France, and Germany backed India's right to self-defense. China called for calm but did not condemn the attack. Pakistan denied involvement. But mounting pressure from the Financial Action Task Force forced it into cosmetic crackdowns. As FATF tightened its leash, Islamabad had to scramble to contain global fallout. At its heart, Kashmir is not just about land, it's about identity. New Delhi promises roads, jobs, and investments. Young Kashmiris are still searching for dignity and a say in their future. Demilitarization sounds noble, but trust has worn thin. Talks sound promising, but who sits at the table? Peace, real peace, won't come through silence or by force. It will come only when voices from Srinagar are heard in New Delhi and Islamabad. The Pahalgam attack has reshaped the conflict's course. India's retaliation marks a new doctrine. Pakistan faces a stark choice: de-escalate or face deeper isolation. But the real battle is not between armies. It's between alienation and belonging. It's between imposed peace and earned peace. Between history and a future that could still be reclaimed. In the silence of the mountains, Kashmir still waits for justice, for dignity, and for the world to finally listen, not just to the sound of conflict, but to the voices of its people.